Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Polls have opened in Iran for a controversial election that is all but guaranteed to deliver a hardline president after all other serious contenders were barred from the race. People are deciding who will succeed President Hassan Rouhani, with all but one of the 4 candidates regarded as hardliners. Opinion polls suggest Ebrahim Raisi, an ally of Hassan Rouhani, who currently heads the judiciary, is the clear favourite. Dissidents have called for a boycott, saying the barring of several contenders left Mr. Raisi with no serious competition. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has said his country needed to prepare for both dialogue and confrontation with the US. It marks the first time Mr. Kim has directly commented on President Joe Biden's administration. He has said the country needed especially to get fully prepared for confrontation in order to protect the dignity of the state. The US has been calling for North Korea to give up on its nuclear weapons. The UN says the number of people forced to flee their homes due to conflict, persecution and human rights abuses has doubled in the past decade. Nearly 70% of those affected are from just 5 countries, including South Sudan and Myanmar. The statistics are part of an annual report on forced displacement by the UN Refugee Agency. The total of 82 million people means that more than 1% of the world's population is currently displaced.
I think this is very significant because we're talking about 2020. We're talking about the year of COVID-19, the year where we didn't move, where we were confined, locked down. Yet, in spite of that, there are 3 million people more that have been compelled to flee because of war.
Meanwhile, authorities in Spain are searching for missing migrants after a dinghy carrying around 46 people capsized off Lanzarote Island. The accident resulted in the death of at least 3 of the passengers, and Spanish Coast Guard are searching for 5 missing migrants. The number of undocumented migrants arriving in the Canary Islands has increased 116% compared to the same period in 2020. Streets have turned to rivers in Mexico's southern city of Juchitán after heavy rains lashed the region, causing a local river to flood homes. Authorities have reported that about 1,000 homes are flooded. As waters slowly recede, local authorities and residents are coming together to clean up the streets and stop the spread of disease in the city. Further floods with heavy rain are predicted to go on until next week. A Liberian rebel commander has been found guilty by a Swiss court in the first ever war crimes conviction relating to the country's civil war. Alio Kosia was sentenced to 20 years for crimes including murder and rape. Around 250,000 people were killed in Liberia's civil wars in total. Russia is facing a sharp increase in the number of new COVID-19 infections while also hosting European Championship football matches. Moscow is now seeing infection numbers as high as December last year, and hospital admissions in the capital are up 70% on last week. No Euro 2020 matches are taking place in Moscow itself, but a special fan zone with a big screen has now been closed. St. Petersburg, which is hosting 6 matches, is facing a steep rise in coronavirus cases too. And finally, a tightrope walker in America has crossed a college campus in the air, walking on a 320-foot log wire.
I did. We signed her last night. Don't you remember?
It is the longest high wire walk ever undertaken in the city of Buffalo in the state of New York. And it's not Nick Wallenda's first time either, having walked over Niagara Falls on a wire in a live televised event in 2012. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.